Someone in your life a gift. Well,
hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of MK Invasion. I'm your host, COLEY, also known as COLEY UFO, and we have a very exciting episode. But before we get into it, tonight's episode is brought to you by Foul Deeds, starring horror icon Ari Lehman. The original Jason, if you guys have seen from Friday the 13th, the brand new Kickstarter campaign for Foul Deeds is now live and has been a lot of exciting perks available for campaign backers, including acting roles, producer credits, autographs, CDs, and more. Join Forever Entertainment by donating to the campaign today. Sponsor number 2, tonight's episode is also brought to you by Final Girls Monster Series, now available at thescarezone.net. Final Girl is horror-inspired lifestyle brand built for the survivors and fam alike, celebrating resilience, rebellion, and those that will to outlast whatever comes your way. Join us today at scarezone.net and help support your favorite model by purchasing from the large selection of available merchandise. If you or someone you know are interested in becoming a Final Girl, definitely reach out to Forever Entertainment and they can help set you up. It's definitely a great place to be. So tonight, as we're getting into it on Forever Entertainment MK Invasion, we have Scotti G, and Scotti G has come from, we're going into the paranormal. We are going into the paranormal role. So he's got a very interesting story. So without further ado, let's bring Scotti G out and he can kind of tell you a little bit about who he is, what he does, and why he does it. I always say that on my show, but you know what? In this case,
yep.
Just tell you, I found it really fascinating. You're a comedian,
right? Correct. Yeah. So I've been doing comedy for almost like 37 years now. I started at the Funny Bone in Cincinnati, Ohio, when I was a youngster, and because of my old corporate job, I had to take some time off. In that, like 10 years off, I had to retire because I was too busy at work, but now I'm just doing comedy and acting full time. So I'm actually in 2 of Anthony and Mandy's movies. I'm also going to be one of the leads in the Foul Deeds video you just mentioned, working with Ari Lehman to film that down in Pittsburgh. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, I've become fast friends with Mandy and Anthony. I can't wait to see Flower City Butcher, and I can't wait to film Killer Pizza, their upcoming movies.
Yeah, they're Mandy and Anthony are absolutely amazing. They're great.
Yeah,
so funny.
They are.
They've got a great, yeah, they're good people. If you had to work for someone, they would definitely be the people I would choose to work for. So that's awesome. Well, congratulations and welcome aboard the team. That's pretty cool.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So, wait. So I didn't ask this before we went live. Do I have a time limit? Like, do I have to tell my story in 5 minutes, or can I give you the whole enchilada?
And 20 No, we go for about an hour.
Okay, so
15. Yeah, you
it'll
have a
be
little
less
bit
than
of
an
time.
hour, but I don't have to rush it in 5 minutes either.
No,
So,
no,
okay,
you're good.
okay.
That's
So
a
do
good question
you
to
want me to
ask,
get
though.
it?
Fair enough. What's that?
All right. Do you want me to just get into it? I can.
Yeah, no,
So
I kind of said, we're going down the paranormal road, and
yeah.
I find this really fascinating. My audience, if they are listening, they know that I've had my encounters with my own haunted, not the nice paranormal that you go looking for, but maybe the not so nice that comes finding you.
Gotcha. Well, so to start it out for your listeners who you're just meeting me for the first time, if there was anyone that was a skeptic about this before everything happened to me, it was me. I am a Christian. I'm not religious. I don't like to say religious. That's bad. I'm a Christian, and I've read the Bible front to back twice, where it says in the Bible you don't have contact with dead people. So if I always thought if I was getting a message from a dead relative or something, it was just some spirit trying to deceive me. Because it doesn't say there's not spirits. Doesn't There's angels out there and demons. It doesn't say there's not spirits. It just says you cannot talk to the dead. So as I got older, a number of my friends where I live now in Pennsylvania, including one of my homeopathic doctor, they're kind of their they say they're mediums or have psychic abilities, and she talked me into going to Lilydale, which I'm you're familiar with, right, Collie, in New York. So I went to
Yeah.
Lilydale, saw a couple, spent the day there, and my ex and I had lost a son back in 1991. And there's a whole long story I won't get into, but I always wondered if he made the wrong decision about his care. It led to his death. So I always wanted to make contact with him. So we went to Lilydale. Basically, what the medium told me was that my son, our son at that time, my son was never meant to be born. He died in the womb. That he was meant to become in contact with me and become my guardian angel. And in my life, I've been in 3 bad car accidents, one where I died and they brought me back. And the medium told me that he was my guardian angel, the reason I survived those car accidents. He was kind of my protector. All right. So I
Wow.
wanted to, get in touch with him. So after that whole conversation, I went back home, and one of my friends who said they had these, psychic abilities, or it said, you need to do this to make contact with your dead son. In hindsight, because my son has a friend who's actually the best one. She's the only one that's been accurate with anything she's predicted. So I kind of lost some belief, because they always say this is going to happen or this is going to happen, and none of it that's ever predicted for me ever comes true, except for my son's friends. And I'll give you an example. One of those car accidents I was in, I fell asleep on Route 80 by Penn State University and drove under a tractor trailer. And
Wow.
the company I was with, the insurance company, I won't mention their name because I'm still pissed at them, I'm not with them anymore, wouldn't total the car because it was too new. It was only 2 months old, but I worked for an insurance company, and I called our claims manager down by the Penn State area in Harrisburg, and he sent an adjuster as a favor to me to look at the car. And my insurance company had missed $15,000 worth of damage, including a cut wiring harness. If you're familiar with our current vehicles, that cut wiring harness meant that I drove home from Penn State with my car. I could have lost control of the car. It could have shut down the dashboard and the electronics, and I could have veered off the road and been in another accident. That's $15,000 of damage is a lot to miss. So anyway, but what's funny, my son's friend, she predicted that. Even before I had been to this auto body shop, she had said, your current insurance company's missing damage on your car that could cause another accident. She actually described the auto body shop. I had never seen it because my car was towed there. And when I drove the 3 hours to go check on my car, the description of the auto body shop, she nailed 100%. But she told me, in relation back to my dead son, was my friend in ear who had told me how to contact my dead son, did not tell me to close the portal, is the word she used. So what happened when I was trying to make contact and say the words I was given by my other friend, one night I was lying in bed saying them, I saw a figure with my eyes closed. I saw a figure come out of my clothes closet at me in the bedroom. It was wearing a black robe with a hooded robe over his head, and had what was that? Was that Anthony? I heard a sound. This figure had the darkest eyes. They were like coal, black as coal. Had a mustache and a good. I mean, I could see this dude's face, just black as coal. And I just opened my eyes and I'm like, whoa, that can't be my son. And that was it. I thought it was over. Then all this freaky stuff started happening in my house. Like I grew up in Jersey and New York City. I'm a big security freak. I have a security system. I woke up, I make sure my house is battened down every night. I woke up one morning and my front door was open, like wide open with the screen door there, but the alarm didn't go off. The alarm was set and my door's open, but the alarm did not alert me or the security company. Another day I woke up, I live in this really quiet neighborhood where nothing bad happens. I have like, I think 6 state cops that live on my 2 blocks. Yeah, so everyone's scared to come here because I have a lot of cops that live here. My garbage was ripped open on my front lawn. Like my garbage bag was taken out of my garbage can, ripped open, and the garbage all over my lawn. And I thought it was weird. Yeah, but then my son's boyfriend, my son had a boyfriend, no longer dating him, but lived with us at the time. He used to cook and like destroy my kitchen. And my son, I guess the spirit knew how angry I got. He would leave all the cabinet doors open, get the spices out and everything, not clean up the stove. I'm at work one day and the boyfriend called me. He was in the kitchen cooking. And I guess this spirit did this. He was cooking, left all the cabinet doors open. All the cabinet doors in the kitchen slammed from the end up to the stove where he was cooking, one by one. He was so scared. He ran out of the house and called me at work. He was saying it was the winter. He was standing outside in the driveway with no coat, freezing, waiting for me to come home.
Before.
Yeah, he was not going back in the house unless I came back in.
It's crazy. All of them went open at once at my grandma's. Like, whoo.
Yeah, is that freaky? I know. And then then the boyfriend's at work and I'm sitting watching my son TV with my son one night, and I go up to go to the bathroom. So if obviously you don't know my house, I'm in a tri-level. The bathroom's on the top floor in the center. There's no window. There's no. All those were closed anyway in the bedroom. But I've been here for 27 years. There's no way, even if the window was open, a breeze was going to flow through that way. The heater, the one vent in that room's on the other side, facing the wrong direction. I went up to go to the bathroom. My son was going up behind me to get something to drink, and the bathroom door slammed shut in my face. Just slammed shut. And I'm like, whoa. And then what happened, and my son's friend, the one that was accurate with the auto body shop, the reason I told you about her, because she saved the day. But then I'm laying in bed one morning thinking about this and all the crazy stuff that's going on. And I saw a shadow come out from under my bed, go up my wall, and I heard a growl from under the bed. Oh. Like a wolf or something growling, like an animal growling. And I was like, I shot it from my bed. I'm like, what the hell's going on in my house? And then what happened was my personality started to change. So my best friend of over 2 decades at work was like, what is going on with you? You're like this really kind of nice, emotional, friendly person, and you're getting very like non-emotional and non-caring, and you're becoming a different person. So my son's friend, did a reading for us and said that this evil spirit was actually trying to possess me, was slowly taking over my body. So at that point, that's when I was like, enough. And she told us what to do. She gave us this prayer and these words from St. Michael, if I remember correctly. I still have it in my kitchen with some more sage in case I ever need it again. And my son and I went through every corner of the house saying the prayer. And I grew up in Jersey, on the streets of New Jersey. So I was being she said, don't show it any fear. And I was like cursing it. They're like, I'm going to kick your ass. You know what I mean? I'm like going through the house.
Ownership. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, be gone with you. You're not, so we saged the house over a week, like 3 times. And then miraculously, everything just stopped. All the weird stuff stopped happening. And that was in 16 and 17. It hasn't happened since, almost a decade now. So that's, I guess that's the highlights of the story.
And then they tell you, yeah, your son's here to kind of tell you these things. And then they didn't shut the door. Maybe they didn't clear the space well enough and something else came through. How long was it there for? I mean, like, how long did all this crazy go on for?
It's probably over a good 3 or 4 months.
Enough to scare you.
And then somebody told you the stuff I remember. There was other stuff too, but that's the stuff I remember. But I also remember in some parts of us being very cold, where usually you're not cold. You know what I mean? Getting the chills and stuff. Which I hear that's a thing. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's a thing, right?
Oh, yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's chilling in certain areas. You can tell. And they don't. They start off, they're kind of like vampires. I feel like, at first, and they're wearing you down. You're slow. Like, the relationships in your life become chaotic. Your house is, everything around you becomes chaotic. And that's when they can really feed.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then, it was even funnier though, is then after that time, because my son at that time that died would have been about 23. My son's boyfriend did his selfie. He was like an ex-model. So he was doing all this selfie stuff in my house. And I have a picture on my phone somewhere I could find that. It's weird. Only the boyfriend and my son and some of my friends can see it. Some say they see nothing. But we see the figure of what looks like a young 20-year-old male behind him in my bedroom, where he's taking the selfie in the hallway. Looks like this head with a mustache and a goatee neck. Not the evil guy I saw, but it looks like, my son even said it kind of looks like it could be like you. It could be like your face, your son. So, I mean, again, that one person at Lilydale said it was my guardian angel. And I know God's been good to me. I've been saved from a number of situations I probably shouldn't have survived. So, maybe Mike, I call it Michael, my son, but, maybe he's still in the house with me. I hope he is, but it was weird to see that image behind, right next to Alex and behind him in the picture. It's kind of freaky too, Well,
yeah, that is freaky. And, it kind of plays on your emotions, because I've heard that too. It's hard, but like when somebody really close to you passes, you do desperately want to reach out and know, hey, are they okay? Is everything, it's an emotional roller coaster. And then the fact that you could have something that's possibly tricking you. I've always heard, keep asking it questions, keep asking it. And if it sees the responses, it's so on, try and catch it off guard. But you're at a very vulnerable moment right there. And there's not a doubt in my mind that he's not. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to make contact so bad.
With you. Yes. Oh, yes. And you just want, just like, hey, let me, because that's devastating. I can't imagine what it would be like that of a child that there.
I've been on the board of the March of Dimes for 20 years now. I've been involved with the March of Dimes for 40. Anyone who doesn't know the March of Dimes, we're all about, since we funded the vaccine that eradicated polio, or can eliminate, make sure you don't get polio if you get vaccinated. We turned to giving every mom and baby a healthy start, and a lot of the reason is because we're losing Michael. And I always say to everybody, I think the worst thing for a parent is losing a kid. I don't think there's anything worse a parent can go through.
No. No, I don't think any parent should ever have to live through that. Never should you outlive your child. Never. I'm with you on that. Brody, my son's father died when he was 18 months old, and it was very devastating. But I had my child. I can kind of relate to you on that depth of loss, but not that's going way. I'm really sorry that happened.
I appreciate it. It's a day I'll never forget. You never forget that. So
no, you don't. No.
Yeah.
It's with it. I don't think it ever gets easier.
Yeah. And it's one thing. It's like, all of us lose relatives. Like my 3 of my 4 parents have passed. My grandparents. We all lose loved ones. And everyone's like, oh, in time it'll fade, or you'll get better. And I will say that you never forget your parents and your grandparents. As time passes, because they lived into their 80s or whatever, and a good life and died of old age
Yeah.
or whatever, you maybe don't think of them as much, but you never forget a kid.
It's a little easier to accept.
Yeah, it's a little bit right.
You can
Right.
make sense out of something like that. Something
Yeah.
such as that, there's no sense to it. There's no logic to it. There's no rational rhyme or reason to it. And it
Right.
really is. So do you think that, I mean, in looking back to, so how close, I guess, since he passed, did all of this happen? Did this door
He
open?
passed in we lost him in 91.
Okay.
And this happened in 2016, but I didn't start doing anything with Lily Dale or anything until 2016. When I didn't, growing up, I really didn't know anyone who said they were psychic or a medium or had, had those senses or be able to pick up on stuff, except for my stepdad's. Actually, that's my stepdad's legal secretary, Mary Lou, is a great friend of the family. Until she passed, she had that ability. She actually saw her brother die on TV. She was watching. She was the best ever in my life. She was watching her TV. Was actually reading a book on her chair one night in her living room, and she said the TV turned on, and she saw her brother sit up in the hospital bed and grab his chest and collapse back. And she looked at the clock on the TV. This is back in like the 80s. Said it was 9:12. And a couple hours later, the hospital called and said your brother died. And she goes, "What time did he die?" And they said 9:12 was the time of death. So she actually saw it turn on her TV and saw him grab his chest. So I forgot about her till now. So that was the only person growing up. But we had lost touch with her because her and her husband moved to New York, Binghamton, New York. And we didn't regain touch with her till years later. So, she wasn't around. So basically, my best story I like to say about her, though, my stepdad and mom didn't believe in any of this. So Mary Lou, we were going to Disney as kids in 73. And Mary Lou wrote down 20 things that were going to happen on our vacation, 20 things, and put it in a sealed envelope and gave it to my stepdad and said, "Don't open it till you get back." And we got back, we opened it. She nailed all 20, including us getting a flat tire in Georgia from a nail. She nailed them all.
Oh, wow.
And if you don't believe after that,
See, I was never good at seeing like the future. I can only attest to what I've seen, but I could always see past or see what was with people. So you're gonna tap into what the upcoming events would be.
Yeah, so Mary Lou was freaky good. She really was, and it's too bad she passed of old age. Like she lived a good life, but yeah. So I started getting back into Lilydale and stuff at 2016, and that's shortly after is when all this stuff happened. And then since I've saged, I haven't. Well, except I told you before we came on, I think I had 2 cats that died at 17 years old, both of kidney failure. And I think they're haunting me now. And the reason I say that is my cats would sleep with me every night and they would walk around the bed, like to get comfortable. They would like circle you and go up on the pillow and then settle in, in the back of my knees or something or on me. And my last year, I've been feeling footprints on my bed between 5 in the morning and 8 in the morning, which would be really weird. And I thought it was my sleep number bed because the motor to inflate it and deflate it. So I was about to call Sleep Number and say, "I think your bed's broken. My bed's like vibrating or something, or I'm feeling this weird stuff." And I travel as a comedian and actor. I do travel a lot. Then shortly after, I didn't make the call. Shortly after I started feeling it, I made 3 trips, and in all 3 hotel rooms, I felt the same thing. That freaked me out. I feel these little footprints, that's what it meant. It was almost like my cats were there. Like that's how I felt when they were alive, walking around the bed and then settling in a spot. And I'm like, okay, well, it can't be my Sleep Number bed if I'm feeling it in hotels around the country, 3 different hotels. So that's the only weird stuff that's happened since that incident with the spirit. But I don't, maybe just because I don't know. Just I haven't opened any portals, and we're not or opened any doors and not closed
No,
any
no, no,
portals.
no, not that you open. I don't open portals either. But I feel like you can see a little. I
Well,
think
I
we might have
lost you
lost
for a
you.
second there. Your sound dropped out.
Oh yeah, no, with crazy weather, this has been an ongoing issue, I think, all week. I'm not sure whose end it's on, but no, I was just asking if you had not that you're opening portals or anything like that,
Right.
but you have a connection with the parent. You've always had a connection with the paranormal.
Yeah, it feels since I can, especially because of Mary Lou. I feels like I have, yeah, and it's and like okay, so I took my son to Gettysburg, the battlefields,
Oh yeah.
and we did all the haunted tours down there. There's like 3 haunted house tours, the haunted battlefield tour, and none of the rest of my family since we went on this one battlefield where they said all these soldiers died and they just buried them there. It was like back in the 1800s, right? There was no way to. They just leave them where they lie, kind of thing. And I had I have a camcorder. When my son was growing up, I recorded. I have like 80 DVDs of him growing up, all our vacations, and I walked onto this battlefield and it got eerie cold, really freaky cold, but my camera wouldn't work. It got all staticky. I walked
yeah.
onto the battlefield and I couldn't film anything. I turned around to walk back and it walked fine. Went back to the battlefield, it got staticky again. So yeah, I've always, feel like throughout my life I've had on and off, but yeah, some connection with the paranormal or some experiences like that. It's in fact in my ex-in-law's house, they bought a house where a young man hung himself upstairs, committed suicide. And I forgot about this till now. And my ex-wife and I had to live there when we moved back to Pennsylvania for until our house was, closed for a couple weeks. And I'm walking up the stairs, and in the paneling in the stairwell, there was initials. There was like a stain of initials and and I asked my mother-in-law, like, what was the name of the guy that committed suicide? It was his initials. It was it wasn't like it was painted on top. It was like ingrained in the wood of the paneling, and the initials were very clear. It wasn't like it's a weird M or something. It was very distinct.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if this guy is like haunting this house, but I never delved into that.
Did you have dreams? Were you one that kind of they contacted you in your dreams?
I didn't not of him hanging himself, but I did have weird dreams in that house. Yeah. I did have
Yeah,
some,
no, I feel like that's a connection that you have with them, that they reach a lot of times when they cross, they'll reach out to you, not that in that way, but that's how they can kind of communicate with you.
Okay, yeah. I mean, maybe I did have a lot of weird, crazy dreams, but not about him hanging himself though, which is weird,
No,
So I'm
no,
not
but
sure if he was.
like they have so much stuff that it's like once, especially when they something like that happens, they
Right.
become almost like there's so much unresolved, and it not necessarily they can't. I know when my cousin she had killed herself, and she came back and she's like, "Can you believe I did this?" And she was so like frantic because all of these loose ends that she left. It wasn't necessarily she focused on that aspect. It was all of the stuff that she now maybe here felt like she couldn't handle, but now it was
Right.
like, she
Oh, I
needed
get
to close some of those doors.
I'm trying to think what the dreams were. It's been so long because that goes back to 1998. Yeah, I'll have to think. You got me thinking. I'm gonna have to think about if I can remember what those dreams were. I know they were freaky, and I'd wake up in a cold sweat a lot of nights. Like, what the hell was
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because they feel so
Yeah.
real, as it.
Yeah.
Part of it is when they're sharing that with you, it's like, I mean, it's intense. It's very intense.
Yeah. So, like, do you know Richie Valens? Are you too young for Richie Valens? La Bamba?
No, of course I know.
Okay, you've seen very young. No, but he used to have dreams. Yeah, you saw the movie. He used to have dreams as a kid. He died in a plane crash, and that's how he died. When Buddy Holly, he was afraid to fly. When Buddy Holly took him on the plane after the show because he was sick, and then the plane crashed and they all died. That freaked me out because when I was a kid, I grew up on the ocean in Jersey, and I used to study sharks. I love sharks, and I used to have dreams all the time when I was diving and former studying, and I got attacked and killed by a shark for years. And then it stopped happening, and they just started happening again within the last year. Starting to have dreams again that I get killed by a shark, which is kind of really weird. Yeah.
Oh wow. See, a lot
Yeah,
of
so I would
times
say
in your dreams, I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Philip, are you there? We lost Coley, I think. Hello. All right, we're gonna hang tight here because we lost her. She maybe have some technical difficulties. Or maybe the show's over. Coley, are you there? Are you coming back? Oh, Coley, ready? Tell a joke. Coley will be right back. I love it. Oh, I don't even know what joke I should tell. Oh my God. I was since we were talking about my youth growing up, I just moved my mom. Back in 24, I moved my mom in here with me in Pennsylvania because she was just too sick to take care of herself, and my stepdad had passed. Oh, she's back. Okay.
am I the only one that got kicked off? It just said
Yeah.
StreamYard. They apologized. It was their error, or if it was their
Yeah.
end, because my internet's
Someone sent me a
fine, so
message. It says, "Tell the
yeah.
joke, Scotty. Coley will be right back."
Yeah. I was like, what is this? Yeah, no. So I don't know. Maybe there's some wind. We're having some crazy. I'm in Iowa, in like the heart of all the cold weather and the wind. So it's
Right.
kind of there's a few problems once in a while, but I apologize.
Oh, my dad and stepmom used to live in Chicago, and I would drive from Pennsylvania to Chicago through Iowa all the time. It's flat. It's a
Yeah.
lot of flat. So I'm sure you get wind and snow
Illinois and
building up.
Wisconsin. Oh, yeah, you do. And I'm right on the Illinois-Wisconsin border, so there's lots of bluffs and stuff around here. But it
Oh, I
does.
said Iowa. You're in Wisconsin. Oh, you're in Wisconsin. Okay. Milwaukee is one of my favorite cities. Used to go up there.
Illinois is that way.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I used to love Wisconsin and Milwaukee, but anyway, okay.
Yeah.
So we were on shark dreams and me getting eaten by sharks. That was where we left off.
We're reliving the Jaws days. Well, a lot of the
Exactly.
times, it's not like I always get the death dream. Like before somebody will pass, I know 30 days. I don't know who exactly it's going to be, but in the
Right.
dream, I know that how they are to me. So, I mean, it really could be, a magnitude of people, but I can always I don't know exactly like who they are, how they're gonna go, or anything like that. I just know that it's going to have so somebody's going and it's gonna be within that 30-day period. So a lot of times our dreams, but just that you're having that reoccurring dream of sharks, and I'm just, that's like that whole significance behind it. Where do you think, I guess, what do you interpret it to be?
I don't know. Maybe
Has anybody told you if you had it
I
analyzed
mean,
before?
because I'm more of a lake guy, so I'm not big on the ocean, the salt water, because I grew up in it. I'd rather be in a pool or in a lake. So maybe he's just told me, don't go on a cruise and go diving in the ocean, and, or
Just
something
to
like
be
that. I don't
safe.
know. Wait, what?
Just to be safe.
Yeah, to be safe, maybe. I don't know. It's crazy
Oh,
because,
so just
like I
to
said,
be
I
on the
used to.
safe side, I'm sure.
Well, maybe it's because I recently talked to a friend of mine, a girl I dated for a couple of weeks last summer, was interested in diving with the sharks. And I've always wanted to go down to south and do that, like in a cage with great whites, go somewhere and do that. So maybe the message is don't do that. Don't go in a cage in the water with a bunch of great whites.
Yeah.
I started thinking about doing that
Maybe
again.
I would caution against that. Yeah, I would kind of caution against that just in case, but you don't know. Like when something like that, is that real or I don't know.
Well, if something's going to happen, I'm the guy. Yeah, there's nothing going to happen. I'm the guy it's going to happen to. One of my realtors used to say, I feel like there's a black cloud that follows you. Like when buying a home, if anything's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong. So I feel like if I'm in a cage in the ocean with a great white swimming around and they charge it, I'm going to be in the cage that breaks. The bar's going to snap. Yeah.
That would be me too. That would be me too.
Yeah.
I said if there was a chance of winning the lottery, but the lottery wasn't like money, it was like the worst case scenario, I would win that. I would win that lottery, no problem, hands down.
Yeah. Do you remember the movie Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey and Jennifer Aniston, where Jim Carrey's God.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that would be us in the lottery. A million people win $7 each.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that would be me.
Yeah, he's so crazy, but some people, it's like that, and I feel like it's by design. Some of this really is by design, especially.
Yeah. Oh, you hung up again, COLEY.
Lineage.
Wait, you hung up
did?
again for about 10 seconds. You froze.
We must. I see. I'm showing the internet is okay on my end. That's so crazy.
You're
It's
fine
saying
now.
Yeah.
No, you're fine. I just missed the last thing you said
I
before
don't know.
that. But
It's this weird cold weather.
yeah.
I was asking about your family lineage. Like in your family line, is there anybody else like that is able to see past the veil or hear spirits or see them?
No, nobody that I'm aware of in my family. It's only been friends. Yeah, I'm Italian, German, and Irish. My mom's family all from Italy. None of them
Irish.
had claimed that, and no one on my dad's side either. Yeah, no one claimed to have those abilities. So
You have the Irish lineage, though. The Irish, that's where you see. I'm part Irish too, and that's where mine comes from. Is that side?
Yeah, I'm half Italian, quarter German, quarter Irish. So in my act, I say it means I'm a short, angry drunk. So.
Yeah, the fiery, spirit. But that's like even in like when I go into like the ET realm, it's always either Native American or Irish or a combination of both. The Irish is always on there for. Mm-hmm.
Well, I have well, the quarter Irish is rounded up because I do have a little bit Native American in me, but it pisses me off because it's not enough to get benefits from the government.
Yeah, right. You don't get any
tax. I have a little bit of Native American in with that Irish. Yeah.
No, but and two is a lot of times it will skip generations. Mine goes back to my great aunt. It would be
really?
great aunt. And I think it would be my mom's. Yeah, so it would either be great, I believe, because she basically what's written in the history books is she saved the family from the potato famine because she was able to communicate, and they told her, it's time to go, and and so that's kind of that existence. And two, I get that, like, it's like you've kind of bordered that edge of life a little bit too a few times, and that's gonna pierce the veil itself. I mean, just that you've been a survivor of that. I mean, it I rode with people always cringe when I say this, but I rode a guy died while driving a vehicle when I was 8 years old, and we were like going full speed ahead, and the whole occurrence, like minute by minute, like if the car hadn't spun around 3 times in the middle of the highway halfway a mile back, we would have all been asleep, and we would have been we would have hit that tree. So it's like it's always a reason. Yeah, like I'm supposed to be here. I mean, it's not. There's no getting up, but it's that's so hard, and and all the people around you, it's like you're stripped of all of that, and it leaves you. I'm sure you can kind of attest to some of that. Like, you're kind of the last man standing. I probably feel like it in many ways.
Yeah, I am. Well, it's funny you mentioned the car accident. Just this past Friday, I was running some errands. And it was the snow was coming down. We were getting that bomb here. We're getting bombed with snow, and I'm driving down my Route 8, regular route, and all of a sudden it hits me. Oh, I got to pick up my dry cleaning. So I make a beeline into the dry cleaners and make a left. Just as I do that, 50 feet in front of me, this guy runs a stop sign, T-bones a car, big 3-car pile. If I didn't turn into the dry cleaners, I would have been in between them and got T-boned into the other car. So that whatever that thought was, they're like, oh crap, get your dry cleaning. It's been sitting there for a week. Anthony's killing me. I love it. But you bring up a good point about skipping generations. What's weird is that Mary Lou, that was friends with our family, her mother, she said, was very, psychic, and she was, but her daughter's not at all, which is weird. And I've lost touch with the daughters.
1 or 2 generations. So it's very true. Very true.
But I wonder if the daughter's kids are in any way, because I have no contact with the kids right now, so I don't know. But it was weird. Yeah. like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, well,
So,
I bet either they're her kids or their kids definitely have some of that trait or that ability in them. I would
right,
put money on it. It's usually the way that it is, and that's awesome that she can pass that down, or just to see and be able to see past some of that stuff, and it's like you get to know that there's something else there. And that
right,
is probably like the coolest part about it. But growing up, I'm sure for you, like when I was growing up, like my mom, obviously, she was not. It would have been her aunt, so it'd been my great aunt. So
right.
they didn't understand it, and back then it's like that big Catholicism, like call a priest, like we need an exorcist done here, like type
Yeah,
mentality. So I was like,
yeah,
yeah, and I remember that scared me as a kid, and so I started writing it down, like, oh, or I had a dream is what I would tell her, or
right,
I'd write it as like a story, because I
right,
didn't I didn't want a priest there. Like who would have and nothing good comes from that. Like I didn't want to sit every week and tell him what the made up sins I had. Like I was mean to my
right.
brother, or you just kind of sit there and yeah, it was just like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm not doing that. But
No, I get it.
that's a part of that stigma though that was there. Now it's like the paranormal, you can openly talk about it and nobody's like running for holy water and crucifix and coming
Yeah,
towards you.
exactly.
But yeah. Yeah,
Although
and
I do,
two though, I
okay.
I give you oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, 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 go on, finish.
No,
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I give you a lot of credit because you going in there and taking ownership after all of that, and I mean, to get rid of something, it's not easy. I've had a couple things attach, and it is not easy. I
Oh,
mean, you
seriously? Okay.
have to, yeah. So I was just really like commending you for that.
Thank you. Well, it's funny. There might be another experience just happened in Jersey in 2023. My mom, I was living in Jersey for a few weeks. My mom had a back surgery, so I had to take care of her. But when she was in the hospital after the surgery, there was this older woman as a roommate, other side of the curtain, who had fallen and broken her hip. And she was in there for like pins or had the hip surgery to repair it. And she kept calling to me from the other side of the curtain. Yeah, you hear. I put this in my comedy act because he talks about the holy water and the exorcism. But
Yeah.
I'd be sitting there talking to my mom here. Hello, hello, you with the pretty eyes. That's she called me. She called me you with the pretty eyes. And I would go over and to her. She's like, I'm like, yeah. Hey, what can I do? How can I help you? And she seriously, she was very serious. Her eyes got really dark, and she goes, "You get the devil out of me." I'm like, wait, the devil? Yes, you get the devil out of me now. She thought she may have been. She was telling me she was possessed. And I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah. So I joke about it. I said I went in the bathroom and blessed some tap water and tried to do the may the spirit of Christ compel you. Nothing happened, but I went and got the nurses, and I'm like, you guys better deal with this because she thinks she's possessed, and she wants me to do an exorcism, and I'm not a priest. Yeah.
But maybe she saw something in you. Maybe that's like, some people have
Yeah.
that. Maybe that's your connection.
It was weird. But I also made the mistake of before I knew she wasn't allowed to walk, before I knew about the hip, said she had to get up and go to the bathroom. I didn't know she had to use the bedpan. So I helped her up out of bed and she starts walking. As the nurse walks in and she freaks out, she's like, oh my God, she's up. And next thing you know, she's strapped to the bed. They got one of those motion cameras on. So like, see if she
Oh no.
tries to get up. So I got her in trouble unintentionally.
I used to
So
sneak my grandpa crackers up in the hospital. I'm guilty of it too. It's like it's so hard though when they want to get moved.
it
You
is.
don't know what you're supposed to do. You're being a
Yeah.
nice guy helping her.
I'm a comedian. I'm not a doctor. I mean, I can tell them
Right.
jokes. Yeah.
Yeah. And that ended up a very good one in your routine.
I know.
So it worked out for the best, I guess. She didn't fall.
Exactly.
There's no major catastrophes.
Right. She
Seems
didn't get
like a
hurt at all.
success to me. Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't get hurt. She was okay. Yeah. But
Isn't it crazy that then all of a sudden, so she knew nothing about what had happened or anything before?
no. So someone wants jokes. I know who that is. Someone's like, we want jokes.
Oh, that must be
Well,
Jay. Is that
well, when my mom
Jay?
was in the hospital here in Erie, she spent more time in the hospital than in her apartment. I don't know if she was seeing this. I don't know if this goes to the paranormal. She was talking 18 hours in the ER, and she was called. It's funny. I'm the one that moved her by me and was taking care of her, and she called out to everybody but me. She's calling to her sister, to her mother, to my stepdad, to my brother. It's like everyone that was either dead or not there, but she was like just looking at the ceiling going, okay, I'll be all right. Okay. And she was like not there. She was just like, no, okay. It was almost like she was talking to somebody from the ER bed for
Kind of
18
like
hours.
stuck between two worlds. Do you feel
Yeah.
like?
Because she was scared to die. She was very scared to death. But the only funny thing about it is, like, I'm sitting there for 8 years, like playing games on my phone because she's not even acknowledging me. She's just talking to the ceiling, and her nurse comes in. She had a really attractive nurse, so of course I told the nurse a joke, right? And as I told the nurse the joke, my mother sits up in her ER bed and goes, "Will you shut up?" So she was coherent for 3 seconds out of 18 hours to tell me to shut up from telling a joke. And then she went back to talking to everybody but me. So
Wow.
do you think that's what it was? She could have been stuck between two worlds, kind of between dying and not dying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that it starts to open up. I've seen it before with people where they're all of a sudden, like I remember my grandma, she had really bad dementia, and then she started, I'm like asking her, "Do you see grandma?" Yeah. Then she was starting to see. We noticed that she was definitely communicating with something, with them, and they were already deceased and gone. So I figured they're probably there around her, and it was pretty close to. And I think then it wasn't with probably a week. She was gone. So she had
Okay.
gone with it. Yeah. So I think that I really do believe that. I really do. And then it
Because
seems like after what's that?
no, because my mom, after she got out of the ER, was in a room, in intensive care, then a room for about 2 weeks, and she kept going out like that, like talking to everybody else. And what's funny is on her last day, I brought my minister in, and he talked to her about because she was scared of dying because she was like she didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, I know she was a Christian, but it was almost like she didn't believe in like I'm going to go right to heaven. Maybe I'm going to go to hell, and she was really worried about that. And my minister talked to her, and she let go that night. She died that
Oh,
night,
yeah.
and what's
Well,
even
think of all
weirder
the
is
fear-based stuff that they had. It's like, "Oh,
yeah,
you're gonna go to purgatory if you don't and there's all these things that went on those scare tactics that went along with
yeah,
it.
because
M
they scared she grew up in like the 50s and 60s, Italian Catholic in New Jersey. Yeah,
Oh,
all that stuff. And what's even funny, what made it worse is when my dad left us when I was 8. She took my brother and I to church, and the Catholic Church in Jersey said we weren't welcome because she had to pay $500 for an annulment, or
oh.
she wasn't welcome in that church because of my dad leaving us. And I'm like, she was a pistol. She was like, how can I say I wasn't married? I have 2 kids. Or this, I'm not the Virgin Mary. I just magically appear.
Yeah.
So,
These are the
yeah,
same people that used to sell indulgences to get to heaven. I've
you're right.
seen that too. It's like I have a child and they be he's a pagan because he's not been baptized. And I said, then you say what you will, but I don't, I'm not buying into all of that because that was written by man. It's like if you can
Yeah.
give me some concrete, but it does seem like after they go, there's like a period of time. I'd say like usually 10 days to 2 weeks where it's very quiet, very quiet. It's like they must go somewhere for that period of time. A lot of people
Okay.
that I've talked to that have like had near death experiences or things like that, they talk about being like stripped of the human. It's very uncomfortable for them to
Huh.
go through. They're kind of
That's
like
weird.
stripped of all of that. And then it's like they are able to, I don't know if it takes them a little time to learn how to communicate, but they've got to
Right.
really build some of that energy up. So I know like right in the beginning, it there's a lot, but then like it seems like after like maybe the funeral or the way, during that time, then there's kind of like that dead silence. Like, excuse the pun,
Oh, yeah.
but there's
Well,
that silence.
what's funny is like a couple things to tell you. Well, one thing I'll tell you first is what was also actually weird is my mom held on for weeks. The day she died was within an hour of 28 years after my car accident where I died and they brought me back. She died on the same day that I almost died, which I thought was really weird. But you mentioned all that, all the rules and stuff, because I keep telling people like, that was my problem with the Catholic Church was that all the rules, because the Old Testament had all these rules, don't eat meat on Fridays and all blah, blah, blah. Jesus got
Yeah.
rid of all the rules. Jesus like, there's 2 most important commandments: love God with all your heart and soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. do the right thing. And that's why I'm not religious. I'm a Christian. You do the right thing. All those rules were like pushed aside. So when I hear people like, oh, like you can't eat meat on Fridays, I'm like, that. What are you talking about? Yeah.
Well, they wanted to be, yeah, and then when you look into it, what it happened was is they wanted to boost the fish market, so they made the exception for the fish on Fridays, and I was like, oh, it's like a
Yeah.
deal at Arby's, it's like
Yeah.
this is what we're doing here. So you start to
I
look
know.
into it, that part of it drives me crazy because there really is like a solid foundation there. It's like you just have to weed through all the human agenda or whoever's
Right.
agenda is written in it, and it can be very confusing, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's funny because even when I was in the corporate world, it was like um, our head of legal in my last company had a mug that said "Rules are for fools." He was about doing the right thing. He's like, "Yeah, we have all this letter of the law, like, okay, don't do this and don't print this out or whatever." But the point is, are we doing the right thing for the company? Are we doing the right thing for the person, for the employee? And a lot of
Yeah.
people don't get that. It's about doing the right thing, at
And
all
do you need
costs,
a
no matter what
law?
it is.
I said, "I don't need a law to tell me how, about doing the right thing," and two, it's
Right,
like, I was just talking about this. I was like, I was raised like, if you do the right thing, like, it's always, good things are gonna happen, good things are gonna come out of it. That's not always the case on things
right,
when you do the right thing. This is still life, but it's still, a process, and it's still lessons learned. Yeah, it is too. You grow up with all I call it, when you have,
right,
yeah, it turns into preconceived resentment when you have expectations for anything. It's just preconceived resentment is the
right.
best way I can put
Exactly.
it.
No, I totally agree with you. I agree. It's it's crazy, but it's like what, and it's um, I always say our world's going to hell in a handbasket. I just see a lot of crazy stuff out there now, and I just try not to buy into it and just live my life right, and hopefully everything will be good. We'll see, right?
Yeah, and
So
you see signs. Do you see signs like with your son, like with I'm almost getting I don't know if it's when you're driving or when you're going places, but there's something that is there something that jumps out at you that reminds you
yeah,
of your
like
son?
I think it's like the dry cleaner thing. It's like it supposedly is my guardian angel protecting me, and I have had like, I think I might have alluded to it before. I've had a lot of near misses. Like if I had gone this way versus that way, I would have been T-boned or would have had a
Oh,
head-on
yeah.
collision. You know what I mean, or something like that. And I don't know why I turned at the last minute. And I'll give you another example. I am convinced he saved me. Last June, my
Mm.
son and I were actually meeting in Jersey. My son's engaged now, so him and his fiance or boyfriend were driving from Pittsburgh. We were going to meet in Jersey for a vacation and to go see my mom's grave because they finally had the name of my mom and stepdad there up on the mausoleum, all that stuff. And I was running late. I was supposed to meet my old, gang from high school in New Jersey, for dinner and everything and drinks. And I left about an hour late. So I am on Route 80 in Pennsylvania doing 89 miles an hour in a 70-mile-an-hour zone. So yes, I was speeding. All right. And I come around a bend, and this cop the state trooper had just pulled into that the opening, that, the little horseshoe there, had just pulled in and set up. As I blow by him at 89, he pulled right out. And I was hoping his radar wasn't set up yet. So I quickly started on a 70 and I got in the right hand lane, like, hey, I was just passing the truck kind of thing. But no, he pulled me over and gave me a ticket. And he was nice about it. He didn't charge me at 89. He went a little bit lower. So I had to thank him for that. It was nice because I told him I was going to see my mom's grave and everything. But then I started driving and Route 80 was closed. 10 miles from where I got the ticket. And I had to get off Route 80 and detour around through all these little farm towns to get back on 80 like 30 miles later. And I looked it up and there was a major car accident, a multi-car accident of 5 like trucks, commercial vehicles with multiple fatalities. And I'm like, if I didn't get that speeding ticket, I would have been in that accident most likely.
Mm.
At that time, I could have been one of the fatalities. So, I wonder if like my, dead son was make sure the cop gets there in time and pull
Yeah.
Dad over. You know,
Well, I
so
almost
that
feel
was
like
the
there's like
best.
a billboard or there's something along your route that really remind that, you know, that you're connecting to, that reminds you, and that it's almost like his way too of like saying hello to you. So I
Yeah,
didn't know, and that's interesting that it does, because I didn't even put the two and two together. I just, like, you know, when things come out, like it just, he is definitely there. Like, but he said
yeah.
that there is something, I don't know if it was a number or if it's more like a sign or a billboard or something that that reminds you, or kind
Well,
of, you know, then it brings you kind of in tune to him.
it's the March and I'm stuff because remember I see a bill with the baby on it and the NICU and you know, all the tubes and everything. Or when I go visit the NICUs because I'm on the board and I visit the families and that's what reminds me of him because that is a
Okay, the number
situation. You
would
know
be
what I
the
mean?
dime, probably 10 cents. Okay, that would make sense then. Okay.
Yeah.
I
So,
okay, cool.
but I'll tell you,
Yeah,
I
no,
was so
he's very
pissed
much
after.
there.
Yeah, I was so pissed after I got that ticket, and then when I saw the accident, after I looked up the accident, it's like that's the best $235 I'll ever spend. I,
Yeah.
I was happy I got a ticket at
Yeah.
that point. You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, at first it's
Yeah,
probably like, yeah, you're like, oh, right now of all times. But to
yeah,
know that right there potentially, and that's just an eerie feeling, you know, like to sit with. Like, I remember when that guy died while driving the car, when we got out of that vehicle and that vehicle was stopped, we were literally, I would say, maybe like 25 feet from a tree, you know, like we were going right into that tree. And if that car
right.
hadn't spun around 3 times in the middle of the road, we'd slept right through it. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
all when those things happen, it just, it makes you, you know, wonder, like, is there, am I
right,
here for a bigger purpose? Is there, you know,
right,
more like, and, but if I am, then why did they have to leave? You know, is it because, and a lot of times what I've gotten is like, you couldn't have done what you were supposed to do if I were still there.
right. Well, I ask God that every day. I'm like, I should have been dead at least 3 times. My car accidents and stuff. Um, yeah, I won't get into all the car accidents, but I should have been dead 3 times. And I'm like, why am I still here? What is my purpose? What am I supposed to accomplish that I haven't accomplished yet? Because obviously I've been really, really lucky, you know? So,
Yes,
but
yes. So you're here for big things. You have
yeah.
big things to do yet.
Yeah.
And
Oh, which
two, I
reminds me of
mean,
another thing. That may be my son, you know, protecting me.
mhm.
See as we were talking, all these things are coming back. Just like 3 years ago in my house, um, I got a very faint smell of gas in the basement. You know, natural gas, like a gas leak, and I was like, "No, no, it's like it's nothing." It was very faint, but something kept nagging at me. Call the gas company. Call the gas company. Call. So I called my plumber, and he came out. With his little machine, and he goes, "You have a really great nose. I can't smell anything, but you got 3 small gas leaks. My
Oh,
furnace and my water
wow.
that they had to patch. So who knows what would happen if the gas kept leaking and I turn the light on, or start my dryer, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So it,
He's like, "It's
all
not
those
your
little.
time, dad. It's not your time."
Yes, I just wonder if that's my son continually. That's not continually like, sending me messages or whatever, nagging me to call the gas company. you
No,
know.
that I think that's exactly how it works. And two, if there's anyone, I know Maya or Jay, if you guys are in chat, if you guys are picking up anything, please put it down for them, because I think that'd be very healing. They're able. Maya Starfire is great. She's coming on my
Okay.
show on Mondays to take care, and they also can see past the veil. So
Okay.
I wish, you know, and two, I'll jot some stuff down because some things have been coming, and I'll send it to you on a DM on what I was
Okay.
getting to.
Cool.
But your son very much is there with you, and he not only needs you, but you need him. I think is the feeling that comes with that. So that's
Now, because
awesome.
I'm on my phone and a lot of the comments are really small. Is there anyone that has questions that I can answer? I don't know if they're comments to you or comments about the stories or just
They're
general
really
comments.
just, yeah, they're really feeling it. They're, if anybody too, yeah, if you're getting it, or if you have any questions, can you go ahead and drop those down and we can ask and see what comes out of them. But yeah, they're really being supportive, and you know, this is a hard loss and a hard thing to go through. Not only that, then you had to mad go and take, you know, ownership, and that's not easy. I'm sure that was a little scary at first going around, because they don't play
Yeah,
around sometimes, especially when it gets to
yeah,
that stage where they're starting to work their way in.
Yeah. Well, the thing's me being such a security nut too, to wake up at 6 a.m. for work and see my front door wide open. Yeah, and the alarm not
Yeah,
off. That
yeah.
pissed. He really pissed me off. That was the end. It's like, okay,
That he's like, you're like, that's it. He's gone now.
yeah,
Now
so
that he
you're
did
done.
that,
Yeah.
that was it. Yeah. Well,
Although,
I had
okay, what when but my house smelled like that sage for like weeks from us smoking the whole thing. Yeah. Uh,
oh yeah,
oh,
the
thank you.
sage.
Is that Mandy or Anthony sending that comment? I love
That's
those guys.
Anthony.
Yeah, yeah,
They're great. They are great.
yeah.
Says I love Scott G. He's such a great guy. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, no,
And it
I
is
love
true.
working with him, and we always love about filming a movie with Anthony because I'm doing the acting and the comedy and stuff. That's what I do, but I've never like filmed a movie. So he's very patient as I ask him questions like, "Why did you film it that way?" and "Why you do?" Because I'm trying to learn more about the whole, all parts of a movie, and he's such a great guy at being a teacher and being patient with answering the questions, not like get the heck out of here. We got to film the ne's scene. You know what I mean? He's a really good guy.
Oh
So.
yeah. They're kind of like a family, you know?
Yeah, really. It feels that
That's
way. I mean,
awesome.
everyone on the last set was like a big family. It was a lot of good people I met. So I enjoyed working with all of them.
Tell us a little bit about your role and everything in it before.
So in the Flower City Butcher, I was lucky enough to have two roles. I played the Grim Reaper, and because that didn't show my face because of the costume at the party, I got to play the crazy monkey also, where I wear a monkey mask and I scare the lead actress, Michaela, at the party and then laugh it off like a sarcastic comic. So yeah, so I had a small part because I also have played Santa now for 38 years. So I had to get back home. I had 3 paid Santa gigs, like right during the middle of the shooting. So I only could be there for a day. But coming up, my bigger role with these guys will be in Killer Pizza this summer. And I don't know what exactly the role is yet, just that Anthony and Mandy said I was going to be one of the main supporting characters. I'm waiting for the script. And I'm going to be in the music video for Foul Deeds. I'm going to be either Uncle Claudius or the King. They got another male actor. We're going to be the 2 leads. We just haven't, boxed it out yet. Who's going to get which role? So, but I'm looking
I
forward
can
to that because
envision you as
I'm
a king. Yeah,
yeah.
I can
Well,
see it.
I'm an '80s rock guy too. I love rock and I love metal. So I'm looking forward to meeting Ari and seeing the band and being in a rock video. So
Oh yeah, how cool is that? How
I
cool is
I have to
that?
wear leather pants though. Are you a Friends fan? Do you like the show Friends when it
Oh
was
yeah,
on?
yeah.
Do you remember the David Schwimmer Ross where you had the leather pants that got stuck and you tried to
Yeah,
use leather?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So just
yeah.
as long as I have to wear tight leather pants, I can't get up, but I'll be good.
I once interviewed. Do you remember the Friends, the neighbor with the cat and the brown
Oh,
oh
yeah.
gosh, I interviewed him before. I can't really think of his name right off the top of my head, but he was off the chain. He was
Oh,
great too.
he was on the podcast. You mean he was on your podcast?
Yeah, on a podcast I did probably like 5 years ago. I had him
Oh,
on,
that's so
and I
cool.
was like,
That's so cool.
yes. I wish I could think of it just like popped out of my head, but he was something else. That era, I said, I love that era. I love that generation. The 80s, the 90s. There's nothing better.
Yeah.
It really
I mean,
is.
they'll make a lot of shows like they used to. I mean, I used to be big on, Friends and Cheers and, oh my God, Full House and
Oh
all
yeah,
those.
yeah.
Yeah.
All of
I'm
those.
showing my
I
age.
grew
I'm
up with
sorry.
those. Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
think we must be pretty close in age here. We're watching the same shows. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
I'm a Gen Xer. I'm a Gen Xer. Proud Gen Xer here.
Okay, I'm a baby boomer, but you look like 30 years younger than me. So,
Well, I'll take it, but I bet I'm
yeah.
not. Yeah.
Well,
I'm
but take the
rolling
win.
in the
Take the win.
40s. Yeah.
I guess.
If we were rounding up, I would be at the 50s. So
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I just
it's
turned
crazy.
60. I just turned 62 in October. So yeah, I'm getting up there, but I'm young at heart. And what's funny about being a comedian and where I do the shows here in PA is most of my friends I hang out with are in their 20s and 30s, which keeps you young.
It does.
And I will tell you that they cannot run with the big dogs. They can't party with me. Most of them can't keep up.
They don't make them like that anymore. That's what
They
I
don't.
say.
They don't.
They don't.
But it's like funny. My PR manager for comedy, she's only 26. She calls me Saturday, Scotty. We're going to get blasted by snow in the next 3 days. I don't want to be stuck in my house. Let's go out. So we have dinner and dancing. So it's funny going to these bars and seeing all these like young guys from the gym with all their muscles and stuff. Seeing me, the 62-year-old guy, dancing with the hot 26-year-old, not knowing she's my PR manager. We work together, just thinking like, what does this guy got? Just staring at me, and I just just do one of those. You got to mess with him, right? You got to.
You really do. You really do. I said my kiddo is always talking. He's only 17, but I said, man, you guys have no idea what it's like. I almost feel their maturity level might just be a little bit more than what mine is. And I said, you can't take this too serious. You cannot take this too serious. We don't get out of here alive, and that's the truth.
That's
really
true.
is.
My son's 29 now, and I love it when he just called me 3 minutes before we went on. He's like, Dad, I got an ice dam. There's water leaking in the kitchen. What do I do? I'm like, I'll call you. Knock the icicles off. I'll call you after the podcast. But he's 29. He just turned 29. He's like, I really hate being an adult. I hate this adulting thing.
This adulting thing.
He's got to pay his own bills, all that stuff. Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to survive. I don't know how they're going to survive.
I don't know either.
Oh, man.
It scares me. It really does.
It does too. I said my son, like half the time I'm like, oh, Brody, like howdy, and like, and then I think he really does come by it honestly when I think about it. But I'm like, you still, I mean, there can't be two of us out there running around because we will not get anything accomplished correctly. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah,
I got you. Well, it's funny because my son hates when people say he looks like me. Right, all the time. He gets so mad at him, like, I do not look like him. But everyone that sees him says, that's your son. And he is becoming like a little mini me, which is funny. As he gets older, I see him. It happens. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I look at my brother and my dad, and they're wearing, I can't even make this up. They're like, all of a sudden they're wearing like the same type of, I'm like, I don't think Justin realizes he's turning into dad. He looks like a dad. And it's like, the older you get, the more you see your parents. It is crazy how that works.
I know. Well, it's even funnier. Okay, now that my mom and stepdad died and I was their executor and cleaned out their house, they had all this stuff that was really cool, but I would never buy. I wouldn't spend money. But I'll give you an example. It's like I played all 4 sports: hockey, football, baseball, basketball growing up. I've got herniated discs in my neck and back from hockey that I don't want to operate on because then I can't lift. I mean, like my back would be all to the point where I couldn't exercise, which I don't want. I want to be able to lift and exercise and stay in shape. But, bending down is kind of tough for me. They had this like 3-foot shoehorn. My parents in their 80s couldn't put their shoes on. So now in my garage, I get this 3-foot wooden shoehorn. Every time I go out, I use it to put my sneakers on. I'm like, oh my God, I've become my parents. I'm using the shoehorn from their 80s.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I got those. Oh, some of the stuff. Yeah, you're right. You're so true. I'm replaying it all too in my head. I'm like, you're right. I just remember my grandpa. Why doesn't he buy a pair of boots? Why does he put those rubber things on his shoes before he goes? And I'm like, well, those kind of make sense now that you really think about it. He just slipped them off and he could wear his shoes in the house anywhere he wanted to.
Right. And when I was in my 20s, I used to wear those rubber galoshes to work because of my parents. Everyone made fun of me, and then I stopped doing it. Finally, when I got married, I stopped doing it. I was like, oh my God. But who is it? What's the other thing about, have you had to clean out your parents' house or anything? Are they still alive, I hope? Or have you had to go through that?
Well, I did with my grandparents. I was very close to them, but yeah, I went through that with
my stepdad was a lawyer. My mom was a legal office manager. So they didn't drink a lot. But what do lawyers get for Christmas? They get bottles of booze. So they had when they died, I'm cleaning out their house. I find all this booze unopened. Like really good whiskeys and bourbons and brandy, unopened, still in the box. So I did a count because someone came over. So I took my mom's dry sink and my portable bar and everything. I'm loading it up because I'm going to throw it out, right? I counted. I look like an alcoholic. I have 140 bottles of hard liquor and wine in my dining room. It's like, you guys can all come over, we can party. If the pandemic hits again, come to my house. We have plenty of booze to get through another pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably, you have enough booze to get through. Oh, wow.
Yeah, we would have to crash. the liquor store because booze doesn't go bad. I don't think.
No,
You know?
well, it ages, doesn't it? I mean, like, that's kind of
Yeah.
a good thing with alcohol. We found my grandma's, they had everything, jars of quarters were in the walls. And,
Oh
like,
my God! Really?
and the money, yeah, because they grew up in the, through the Great Depression. So it's like
Yeah.
they stashed everything, and it was like these little hiding places all over. Like they had like on their ceiling, they had kind of layers, but there was always, and we went back behind, and I'm like, man, there's cash. I'm convinced that there's still probably cash in the walls there. That I mean,
Oh,
that
I
was
would.
just kind of how they did it. Yeah.
No, my
Oh
mom
yeah.
was this, my mom is well, my ex-wife's stepdad. He had one of those big like 5-gallon jugs full of pennies. It was like with just pennies. It was like took forever to cash. He died at like 94. It took forever to get cash that in. But my mom and stepdad, I didn't know were the same way. As I'm cleaning out their house and going through purses and everything, I'm finding $20 in this pocket and 10 in this pocket. And 5 year, they have money stashed everywhere. And I'm like,
Everywhere. Yes.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like, Mom, I'm like, she's like, we have to get money out to tip the movers to move to PA. I'm like, no, we don't, Mom. It's like right here. It's yeah.
That's the reserve. I'm like, I don't know how
Yeah.
they kept track of it. I was gonna go take it. I'm convinced they probably had coffee cans in the backyard with my,
Oh,
it's
probably.
like, man, they did, it's like even the things that they learned, like we had scrap paper. There was no throwing away paper even. That was cut
Oh,
and you
yeah.
were using the backs of it for scrap paper. It was like nothing went
I
to
did
waste like that.
I had two like printer copy boxes full of scrap paper and post-it. Yeah, I found. Yeah, they didn't throw anything out. Yeah. It was
No,
like
no.
I found I think like 600 buttons. Different kinds like just so on clothes. Like they would throw out a shirt and save the extra buttons, it seemed like. I'm like, what am I gonna
You
do with
never
these
know when you're
buttons?
gonna lose one, right?
Yeah.
I know.
I'm gonna give it to the local kindergarten. They can use it for a craft project to like
That's probably
make
where they ended up too.
yeah,
I
button
know.
people, yeah.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my God, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Well,
But
it is crazy, but it's honestly, it's been an honor. It's been really nice to get to know you, and I would love to, hear more about, your journey and your story and everything. Why don't you tell the people where they can find you?
okay, so
Or
it's
where the
on the
best place
bottom. Anthony was scrolling, or Mandy was www.scottigi.com. So the SCOTTIG.com, and on there's all my movies, my comedy appearances, my podcast. I do a podcast on sports, movies, and comedy, but I'd love to have you on. I do it short and sweet, and here's why. None of my friends, they're all I don't want to assault my friends, but they piss me off sometimes. I'll just say that. Like, I did a podcast for another comic. I did two. One was an hour and a half, and one was 45 minutes. And my friends didn't listen to either of them because, like, oh, it's too long. We can't afford
Yeah,
45 minutes. Our life is too busy. I'm like, you sit there watching the Knicks and Rangers games every night. Put it on mute. Watch my podcast, right?
I
Listen to it,
know.
right? So I try to keep my podcast to 20 minutes or less. That's their attention
Oh
span. So,
wow. So you got
but
like a
if you would
speed
be
round. That's
interested,
cool.
yeah, I would love to have you on my podcast to talk about your podcast for
Oh
once.
yeah,
So
I would
just
love
let me know
to.
when you want to do that. Yeah.
Definitely. Yes. Too. And yeah,
So
now
that's
I have mine. I'm over on SNX radio, and you're welcome over there also as well. So that would be
oh,
cool.
cool. That'd be great. I love it. So no, I
Yeah.
really enjoyed talking to you in the conversation. I hope I didn't bore anybody out there. I hope it was interesting for you guys.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody appreciated it. Yeah, a lot of yeah, reading comments, and everybody's, really giving you support, and they understand it. These are the people that you're seeing, most of them are over in my audience. So this is right up their alley. So
Oh,
a lot of
perfect.
great people for they're amazing support. So
Excellent. And if I get any more spirits that are not my dead cats, more recent stuff, I will definitely
yeah,
contact you.
we are the ones to call. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right.
Definitely.
I'm not going to call Ghostbusters. I'm going to call COLEY.
Yeah. The next best thing. Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly.
That's
So,
awesome. So yeah, well, I guess in closing, Scotty, it's really, so again, it's Scotti, SCOTTIG.com. Is that
right.
correct for your website? So
Yep,
everybody
Anthony
go
put it
over
up
and check
there
out his
a
work.
minute ago. Yeah, he flashed it up there. There it is. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. There it is. They're on top of things, I tell you.
He's on top. He's got the sirens going.
I
Do you
know.
remember? Okay, I know I'm delaying you. I'm sorry for you want to close and get off. But do you remember the movie, the first Batman with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson? The
Yes.
first Batman movie. So Jack
Oh.
Nicholson's playing the Joker, and he's watching, Batman going, goes, "Where does he get all those wonderful toys?" I love that line. That's why I think about Anthony, because he's already with the sound effects. I'm like, where does he get those wonderful toys? I need those.
I know. There was one, I didn't catch it right away. I thought it was annoying, and I was like, "What is that?" I think it was when the heart started beating, and I kind of looked. I
yeah.
was like, "What? What?" And it took me a second. I was like, "Oh, there!" Yeah, I was like, "What is that?"
I know.
So yeah, I was like, "It is. It's kind of great." Yeah. So funny. There's your
Oh
cat.
my God. So I'll let you close. I'll let you close now. I'm going to shut up.
No, you're good. You're good. I just wanted to say, thank you for coming on. I know this wasn't an easy story to tell. I do. And I mean, you came, it helps create that awareness for other people, because there's so many more people out there that are going through this and facing this, and they don't know what to do. They don't know how to react. They don't know who to call. They don't know what to say, and they don't want to be crazy. They don't, and it's a lot of with grief and loss and too. So I appreciate you coming out here and, bearing that all. And it really, thank you. That was
No,
absolutely
you're welcome. I was honored to be asked, and I'm glad it worked out well. So, you guys know where to find me if you have questions. All my contacts on my website, all my info.
Yes,
So.
yes, and I will be in touch soon, and we'll definitely set something up. I would love to have you on my show and come on your show. That'd be excellent.
Perfect. I'm looking forward to it. That'd be great. Excellent.
Awesome. Yeah, so everybody, if you have not already, hit that like, subscribe, and that notification bell, and definitely leave us a comment and share with your friends. Again, we have Scotti G here. Go over to www.scotti.com, and you'll be able to find his stuff. I'm COLEY from SNX Radio, also known as COLEY UFO. You can find me on all the major platforms. So until next Tuesday at 8:00 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, everybody stay safe and warm out there.
See ya. Take care.